If we take a look at previous Calder races, we will notice a crazy trend. Because on this graphic, we have the leading point scorer from each rookie class, alongside of their point per game average. And as we can see, after a couple underwhelming drafts, right around 2013 heading into 2014, we would see a massive jump in rookie production. Because aside from guys like Crosby or Ovi, it was a rarity to see young players take over the game from day one. Whereas today, it's expected. And keep in mind, if we look at 2020, this rookie class was led by generational defensemen. Makar, Hughes, not to mention Adam Fox, as it's not even just franchise forwards. We've been seeing defensemen scoring at rates we haven't seen since the 80s. Like seriously, I don't know what's in the water these days, but never before in NHL history have we seen young players come into the league at age 18, 19, and dominate their competition. Look at Connor Bedard this season. When you consider the fact that Bedard is going to be 18 for the entire season, meaning he was 2 years younger than Ovechkin, and a year younger than McDavid and Matthews, what he's doing is incredible, as a lot of physical development takes place around age 17 to 20. Hell, look at this previous comparison of a 15-year-old Duchamps and a 16-year-old Aaron Ekblad. Or even take a look at Jack Hughes' rookie season, where this man, who had a similar size and skill set as Bedard, would have one of the worst rookie seasons by a first overall pick in league history. And not only is Bedard on a 79-point pace, which is more production from a rookie Austin Matthews, Panarin, Kirill Kaprizov, but this man is playing on an island, as we went over in a previous video. Yes, you can expect a first overall pick to not have a great team, but never have we seen a player like Bedard play on a team with little to no support. As Matthews had Marner, Nylander, Kadri, McDavid had Eberle, Hall, Nuge, Leon Draisaitl, whereas Bedard this season has Khrushchev and Jason Dickinson. Now of course, no disrespect to those players, but guys like Marner, Nylander, Draisaitl are on a completely different level. So it's gonna be fascinating to see Bedard eventually get some elite line mates, because as it stands, this man, or kid, is nowhere near his potential. But here's the thing, Connor Bedard currently has a cousin who just broke the WHL scoring record as a 15-year-old. What's even more crazy is that McKenna and Bedard are cousins by marriage, which honestly makes it even more absurd, because what are the odds that separate bloodlines, only related by marriage, would create two of the most dominant prospects in league history? As Gavin McKenna this season would start the year as a 15-year-old, whereas Bedard was 16, and not only did McKenna score at a nearly identical pace to Bedard, but Gavin McKenna is nearly 3-4 inches taller than a 16-year-old Bedard, and arguably has a more complete game, when you consider that his size will translate to a better defensive game. Now, I am not saying that McKenna has a higher upside than Bedard, but what he's doing in the WHL is unprecedented. To put this into perspective, on this graphic, we have the highest scoring seasons from a prospect who entered the CHL at age 15. Here we have McDavid, John Tavares, Jason Spezza, Jane Wright, okay, and here's Gavin McKenna. As McKenna is playing on a different field than any other prospect we have seen, as the closest point production we have seen was from Connor Bedard. But he would only play 15 games due to the pandemic, so we didn't get to see a full sample size. Like seriously, as a 14-year-old, McKenna would break the WHL debut record, as he would score 4 points in his first game. He would then match up against Bedard, where he would score his first goal. And in terms of a comparison, our current NHL player who's reminiscent to McKenna, he is very similar to Elias Pettersson, as both of their games revolve around their elite hockey IQ. If you watch McKenna, this kid is predicting nearly every play he's a part of. Look at this play from a 14-year-old Gavin McKenna. He demands the puck in the slot, pretends to load up for a wrister. Psych! He passes it for a deflection goal. The fact that he was doing this against guys 6-7 years older is mind-blowing. But okay, Rob, he has good vision, hockey IQ, passing. No! Gavin McKenna, similar to Bedard, already has an NHL release. On this play, McKenna chases after the puck in the offensive zone. However, with his line mates changing, he would be smothered by the defense. Where?
On the near wall, quick shot, he scores! Are you kidding me?
Gavin McKenna would score a disgusting, impossible angle goal. Later in this game on a 2-on-1, with his head up the entire time, he makes a couple quick stick handles and snipes it short side.
Long lead feed, the Tigers looking for a response. They're in, and they score. Gavin McKenna. Are you kidding me? Less than 20 seconds later, as the goal's getting announced.
And later in this game, he would show off his explosive skating, his ability to separate from the defenseman. He walks in on the breakaway and embarrasses the Oil Kings goalie to complete the hat trick.
Weisblatt breaks it. McKenna's got a breakaway for the hat trick. McKenna, he scores. Roll the highlight reel. There's a hat trick for Gavin McKenna.
Because just like Bedard, McKenna has an elite, if not generational shot, stick handling, hockey IQ, vision, and passing. But due to his size, keep in mind, he was 6 feet tall coming into the season as a 15-year-old. So he could realistically be 6'2", maybe 6'3", 190 pounds in the NHL. And because of this, McKenna has a much higher ceiling in terms of his two-way game, as Bedard, due to his smaller stature, will always be at a disadvantage on the defensive side of the puck. Now, does it really matter if he's scoring 50 goals, 110 points? No, not really. But the fact that McKenna has the upside of an elite two-way player makes him the most fascinating prospect in the world. But no, it doesn't stop here. Because this season, on the defensive side of the game, we have been witnessing an incredible breakout season from 2024 draft eligible defenseman Zayne Parekh. Last year, coming into the season as a 16-year-old in the OHL, Zayne would put up 21 goals from the blue line, 6 goals in 11 playoff games. And this season, Zayne would put up a record-setting 33 goals, 96 points. And for some perspective, on this graphic, we have the draft year production from some of the greatest defensive prospects since the year 2000. Ekblad, Evan Bouchard, Sergachev, Seth Jones, Dougie Hamilton, Ryan Ellis, Alex Pietrangelo. Hell, let's even include Cale Makar, who, keep in mind, was playing in the AJHL, which is a tier lower than the OHL. And right here is Zayne Parekh. Zayne Parekh had a better season than Cale Makar, both in goals and point production. Not to mention, he was playing against much better competition. In fact, unless we go back to the 80s, 90s, the only similar defenseman was Ryan Ellis. However, unlike Ellis, Parekh is younger, 3-4 inches taller, heavier, and more importantly, has shown a better defensive game. What Zayne did this season was unprecedented in the modern era, as Ryan Ellis would fall in his draft, even with these crazy numbers, due to the concerns surrounding his size and defensive game. Like seriously, his shot is so hard and accurate. It is basically a cheat code in the OHL. But not just that, he also has elite vision and passing. On this play, Zayne goes to load up for a wrister. The opposition cheats toward him in an attempt to take away his shot lane, where he then makes an impossible, no-look cross-ice pass. But he's not just about offense. Because of his hockey IQ, he has shown the potential for a well-rounded game similar to Cale Makar. On this play, right after the no-look pass, Zayne scans the ice, where he notices the opposition is setting up for a breakout. He pinches, takes the puck away, gets open in the slot, and scores. And a few shifts later, he would do the same thing. Because similar to Makar, Pedersen, or even Bedard and McKenna, because their shot presence is so impactful, they are able to force the opposition to cheat towards them every time they touch the puck. But if you're also an elite passer, you can become a game breaker on every shift. Now consider this, unlike Makar, Quinn Hughes, Adam Fox, Zayne Parekh at the same age is already bigger and heavier than those players. And because of this, he has the upside of a more well-rounded game. And what blows my mind is that many, if not most scouts, have Parekh outside the top 10. This makes no sense. But we're now in an era where defensemen dominate from the blue line due to their offensive toolset. Guys like Makar, Quinn Hughes, Adam Fox are the driving force behind their team's offense every time they touch the puck. We are in an age where if you don't have that number one two-way defenseman, you have no chance at winning a Stanley Cup. And honestly, I think we're seeing a similar story to Makar. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Parekh is Makar or has the upside of that generational defenseman, but what I am saying is that Parekh has one of the most impressive offensive tool sets from a draft-eligible defenseman the game has ever seen. The proof is in the pudding. And if Parekh falls outside the top 5, I will be shocked. Not to mention, he is a highly coveted right-handed shot. Can you name a hockey prodigy? Or perhaps who's the best prospect? Who's from your hometown or from your area? Comment down below. If you could, leave a like on the video. And as always, thanks for watching.